Hi, I'm Dan Schmitt. I do a weekly television show called Team Chicago Challenge. My website is teamchicago.tv, teamchicago.tv. My email, teamdan45@gmail.com. Today I'm going to be joined with my granddaughter Heather, and we're going to continue through the history, my racing history, but it's really the history of everybody. I'm trying to cover, mainly in the 1980s, I went into road racing. That became a big part. But I was still dirt track racing, but road racing was really, really popular. So Heather and I are going to explore racing motorcycles in the Midwest, and I'm sure there's hundreds of other people watching this show that were there in the 80s and will say, yeah, that's my story too. Publishing Ice Racer magazine. There's some pictures from that, explaining where the races were, because there was a lot of races. I mean, I may have more miles ice racing than anybody alive. Maybe. Yeah, but what do you do in the wintertime? You go ice race. I mean, that's, right. You know. I mean, my grandson, he's got this nice 125, and he says, oh, what can I do? Well, Brandon, go spend some money, buy some tires. Oh, maybe you got to get a driver's license. Maybe you got to get a truck. And you could go ice race every weekend in this wintertime.
Right.
Okay. So there's Santa Fe. What year? They're a year there?
86.
86. So they were still running AMA National Championship races at Santa Fe in 86. Now, Ice Racer magazine, and then there's another copy, 87. And then we come to another political poster.
The good stuff.
All right. I was working with Fred Harmon, who was the 45th Ward committeeman, Republican committeeman. Ronald Reagan in 1984 won 9 wards in Chicago. I mean, Ronald Reagan won 49 states in 1984. The only state he did not win was Minnesota. And that's because Mondale was from Minnesota. So I decided to run for Alderman because he won. I thought finally people in Chicago were waking up. Finally people in Chicago are going to vote Republican in something besides the presidential race. Oh, I was sadly mistaken. If you turn, I mean, your ma took pictures at the one debate they had, and there's Pat LeVar, there's me, there's McLaughlin, and McLaughlin was the alderman. Pat LeVar won the race and became alderman, and there was 5 candidates, and I got murdered. I think I got 500 votes. It was embarrassing, but I didn't know I had so many neighbors in the 45th Ward that were Marxists. Well, I'm walking my neighborhood this morning, and neighbors on Knox Street have Black Lives Matter signs in front of their house. I mean, what kind of morons are living on Knox Avenue? Okay, keep going. Let's forget about that. All right, so Road Racing Midwest, I created another magazine. And this is only one time annual. I mean, it was, and I went, and because I mentioned there's racetracks in the Midwest. If you live in Chicago, there were 7 road courses you could race within 300 miles of Chicago, 350 miles. So if you consider Mid-Ohio the furthest, you had Mid-Ohio, Black Hawk Farms, Road America, Grattan Raceway, Gingerman Raceway, down by St. Louis, you got Gateway. So that's how many racetracks living in the Midwest. I mean, it was great. I went all the way to Detroit. I went all the way up in Milwaukee, Madison, and I sold advertising. And you could advertise in my magazine for just $50, and I would give you a spot on the map, also showing where the racetracks are. So I was doing a public service because, like I said, when I got into road racing, I said, man, this is... But there was hundreds and hundreds of racers. I mean, you could literally, like I said, in the 1980s, the average 20-year-old, 25-year-old had $2,000 or $3,000 of disposable income. The economy was booming. So things were great. You know, under Republicans, things are great.
Right.
And that's why I published that magazine. And then I was also involved with these pictures here and a couple of these newspaper articles. E.J. Fossen, who was the owner of Grattan Raceway. Well, my dad died in 77. E.J. Fossen was like my other dad. I mean, the Fossen boys are like my other brothers. I mean, we're like one big family up at Grattan Raceway. I mean, they've always been, whether Terry, the oldest, the daughter, Kurt, Sam, Hugh, Max. I mean, they're all like family to me. And EJ, he was a bricklayer by trade. He built that racetrack. He ran that racetrack. We would tell many, many, many stories. And I worked with EJ and we created the Michigan Gran Prix series. So if you look at this Grand Rapids Press, or if you go through the other articles, at Grattan Raceway, we put together an additional race to run on Sunday. EJ came up with a $1,000 purse. We wanted to get more spectators. And I figured if he had a special race, spectators would come. So I believe it was a period of 4 years, starting in '86, we ran the Michigan Grand Prix series. And one of the champions was Scott Zampak. So here's one of my early t-shirts, one of my best-selling t-shirts. Scott Zampak was a genuine nice guy. Everybody loved him. And I probably sold more of those shirts than any other shirt that I ever created. So rock with the Z-Man. I mean, and I got interviews. I got an interview with Scott. In fact, I'm going to show you some footage from the Michigan Grand Prix. I talked to some of the riders, and that's what I'm going to show you right now from Grattan Raceway, right outside of Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I'll tell you, I would literally live at Grattan Raceway half the summer. So it was big fun, big fun. The Michigan Grand Prix, the fastest 10 laps in Michigan. Let's meet some of the great riders participating in this event.
My name is Randy Gaddy. I'm from Warren, Michigan. I road race motorcycles here at Grattan, Michigan, one of the premier tracks in the United States. I ride 3 motorcycles, 2 Suzukis and a Honda. I'm sponsored by Al Gaskell's Motorcycles in East Detroit, Michigan, and Spectra Oil.
I'd like to thank my sponsors for this racing season: Dunlop Tires, AGV Helmets, Vance & Hines Exhaust Systems, Dynojet Carburation System, Spectral Oil, and I'm also getting help from Kirker Exhaust on my 600 Yamaha. Other than that, thanks a lot.
Hi, my name is Fritz Kling. I'm at Grattan Raceway. I ride a 750 Yamaha, sponsored by RH Cycle, Nicholson Enterprises, and Four Seasons Yamaha of Lansing.
Hello, my name's Ray Yoder. I'm 23 years old. I've been a road racer for the past 3 years, starting out as a novice, bumping up to the expert status after 2 years. I road race because it takes the thrill of motorcycle riding off of the streets where there can be hazards that you can encounter with automobiles, traffic, other obstacles in the road. Road racing in an organized event is the safest thing, probably with the ambulances and the corner workers.
Hi, my name's Phil Pummel. I'm 25 years old and I'm from Jamestown, Ohio. I ride an '86 Honda VFR 750. It's a V4. It's a lot different from some of the Suzukis and other bikes you'll see out here. I'm a defending Michigan GP champion and I'm here this year again to defend my title. I'd like to say that this is one of the best tracks around. I really enjoy racing here, and I'd like to see all of you in Michigan at Grattan to see me defend my title.
Thank you, gentlemen. 1 minute board goes sideways. Michigan Grand Prix. Down the front straightaway at beautiful Grattan Raceway, located outside of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Through the back section, looks like Fritz Kling. Ray Yoder's up front. Scott Zampak looks like he had a problem on the start. He's running about 10th place. Randy Gaddy and Phil Plummel are battling for 3rd place. Stevie Patterson on his 600 Yamaha, 2nd place in the points. He's having a little bit of a problem at the racetrack today. Looks like Gus Christensen, Paul Vidalis, Sam Waltrip are trying to make it into the top 10. Up front, the battle is between Fritz Klein and Ray Yoder. Fritz Klein on the Yamaha, Ray Yoder's on the Suzuki. Down the front straightaway. Randy Gaddy on that Suzuki is holding off the charge from last year's champ, Phil Plummel, on the Honda, that V4 Honda against the inline Suzuki. Marty Miller's right there to pounce. Scott Zampak has just moved to 6th place, getting by Mike Carm. Stevie Patterson's in the top 10, also right there, Paul Vidalis, Sam Waltrip. Up front, the battle continues. Fritz Klein, Ray Yoder, Fritz Klein, Yamaha up against the Suzuki. They head over to the front straightaway, down the front straightaway. Looks like Ray Yoder's gonna pick up the win. 2nd place goes to Fritz Klein. Gaddy is 3rd, Plummel 4th, Miller 5th, Zampak 6th, Carm 7th, Patterson 8th, Vidalis 9th, Waltram 10th place.
50, Mike Carm takes 7th place with 54 points. He gets $25. 6th place finish today for 56 points, gets $35. Number 204, Scott Zampak. 5th place, 58 points, pays $50. Number 483, Marty Miller. 4th place pays $65, gives 60 points to rider number 60, Phil Plummel. 62 points and $85 for a 3rd place finish for number 408, Randy Gaddy. 2nd place finish, 65 points, $105. Goes to 421, Fritz Kling. 1st place, 70 points, $135, and I'm told you have to see Sharon. Number 52, Ray Yoder.
So here is a picture of me riding a Honda. So that's a whole new story. And Wade Weston worked at Des Plaines Yamaha. Wade Weston bought a Honda Hurricane. Wade Weston wanted to get into road racing. So he talked to me and asked me if I would help him get into road racing. So I told him I would help him get into road racing as long as I could ride his bike in the expert class. Just one race. You know, on an average Sunday to be 10, 12 races. If I could just run one race and he could run as many races, I'd help him with the bike. And so I started racing that Honda with Wade Weston, mainly at we went to Grattan and Blackhawk Farms. So it's on the next page. And then Wade did buy a 750 Suzuki, and we did run a 6-hour endurance with WERA on his Suzuki. He did crash that bike, that's why the bearings off it. Right. And I think me and Brett Cicchini, I think we finished the race. You know, so it was a 6-hour race. And then here, only thing here, in 1988 was when I finally, The Other Side, which was my political TV show, public access TV show, then became just motorcycle only. And it shows a couple of the different systems I was on. Mm-hmm. So here you can see I'm on 3 different systems, and here you can see I'm on maybe 6 different systems. So both myself and Bill Wilt that does Motorsports Unlimited, we were expanding our show and dropping tapes off at other public access outlets. Right. So finally, 4 Yamaha dealers got together in 1989, and they bought me a motorcycle. So it was Warren White at Hanayama River Oaks. It was the Gale who had Southwest Yamaha, which is on Southwest Highway. I can't remember her name. It was Peck up at Des Moines Yamaha. Oh, I feel terrible. Was it Larry Picos from Cyclecraft? Before Yamaha dealers paid for that FZR. So we ran an 8-hour at Grattan, 8-hour endurance. That's me on the FZR. That's your Uncle Danny on the FZR. So me and your uncle and Dave Bernard, who lived in the neighborhood, the three of us ran that 8 hours. And I produced 4 TV shows. And when I condensed it all down to one show, it was a pretty great show. Yeah. And then a week later, so I think these are still Grattan pictures. Then a week later we went to, or 2 weeks later, we went to Indianapolis Raceway Park for a 6-hour, and just Dave Bernard and I rode. And pictures are by Larry Lawrence. Larry Lawrence to this day is a pretty good friend of mine. He still works with Cycle News and still takes pictures, and yeah.
Now let's take a look at the 8-hour endurance at Grattan Raceway.
First wave off. Second wave on. A good start so far. Third wave on. Let's follow these lightweight bikes. This is the third wave. I'll explain the 3 waves. Third wave is bikes under 400 cc's. Leaders, fast guys are up top. Running in third place, Ray Yoder.
It's the number 1 bike, Human Race Team up front. Number 2 bike, Team Suzuki, Valvoline's running second. 3 guys racing third. Royal Racing's right there, Lifetime, Team America, TBA, ENH on that production, open class bike. In the middleweight class, it's Bizarre Racing and Royal Racing leading, and we have an incident.
Went down in the bowl, lost oil, another bike went down, dropped some more oil. Altogether 5 bikes went down in the bowl.
2 hours in the can as we wait for a restart is Human Race Team up front. Team Valvoline, Suzuki running second. 3 guys racing, Local Heroes are running third. 4th place is TBA. 5th place is Right Line Racing from Utah.
Green flags here. Watch the board. We turn sideways. The green is thrown. First wave is off. Flag thrown again, the second wave, middleweight, production and superbike. And now the wave, the flag is thrown again. The lightweight bikes get the charge.
I'm out here at Grattan. We're already in the 2nd hour of the endurance, and the 1st hour was pretty uneventful, but during the 2nd hour, when I was out there, 3 guys went down. There was oil all over the track, so they had to stop the race, clean up the oil, and they just restarted it again right now. So let's get back to the action.
At the halfway point, it is Human Race Team is still leading. Valvoline, Team Suzuki's running in 2nd place. 3rd place is Royal Racing. 4th place is Lifeline Racing. 5th place is Team America. 6th place TBA. Team Getaway is 7th. 8th is We're Human 2. 9th is Raw Racing. R&J Racing is running in 10th place. As you've seen the group of scorers on the balcony, they also had to be there for 8 hours to score the different teams. Team Suzuki went down. That created a controversy. In the end, it was Human Race picking up the win. 2nd place went to Team Suzuki. 3rd went to Royal. Lifetime was 4th. Team America 5th. TBA was 6th. In September, we traveled to Indianapolis Raceway Park.
I wait in the second wave because I'm running the Yamaha FZR middleweight. Second wave. 1 minute board is up, which means the race can start any time in the next minute. I hold my hand in the air because I'm in the second wave to show I'm not going to put the bike in gear as I wait for the start. The first wave is off. Second wave is off. Race down to the first corner. Third wave, lightweight bikes, are waved off.
It was Team Suzuki Valvoline leading the early part of the race. Human Race Team was right there with them. 82 teams came to challenge this 2.5-mile road course with 15 turns. Indianapolis Raceway Park is located just west of the town of Indianapolis. At the 2-hour point, as we see Dave Bernard on the Team Chicago FZR number 45. At the 2-hour point, Human Race Team and Team Suzuki have both covered 56 laps, and they are on the same lap. As we see Dave Bernard, and now we're going to watch one of the pit stops as Dave Bernard brings the FZR back into the pits to turn it over to me.
The Team Chicago FZR 600. Well, let's watch this pit stop. Comes to a stop, shuts the engine off, now immediately has to get off the bike. No rider can be on the bike. Jesse is holding the bike in the front. Wade is working the quick fill tank that doesn't really shut off the gas properly. You see Dave grab a rag. And I'm on the bike now and get ready to go for a pretty good 21-second pit stop.
After 6 hours of racing, it was Kurt Hall and Andy Fenwick picking up the win with the Human Race Team. Team Suzuki Valvoline was second. Fifth place overall, and winning the lightweight class, it was Kevin Renzel on the Raw Racing Team. Team Chicago, we finished 24th overall, and we were fourth in the middleweight production class. And now my granddaughter, Alyssa, is going to join me as we continue on with the history of Team Chicago.
Hi, Gramps. So, what is up with the Hooter Girls here?
Well, I put that first in the book just because I want the book to look attractive. But that's from 1993. But we were at the motorcycle show. By 1993, Dennis McNeil was the Yamaha rep in Chicagoland. Dennis McNeil went on to be the general manager of Yamaha. But like I said, I got that first FZR 600 Yamaha in 1989. There was 4 Yamaha dealers that paid for that bike. When Dennis McNeil, and I'm doing the TV show, and that was the whole thing. That's what got me, Yamaha wanted to be involved with the TV show. Dennis McNeil was the local rep, and by 1993 or 92, he put 9 dealers together. That year in 93 at the Chicago Motorcycle Show in Rosemont, the Team Chicago 2 Yamahas were right in the Yamaha booth. I was pretty happy that they invited me in, but I have to thank my good old friend Dennis McNeil. So let's turn the page and see what's next. So also here, that magazine cover there, Road Racing World, that's for 1990, right?
Yeah.
Fritz Klein was the champ at the Michigan Gran Prix. I'm still involved with the Michigan Gran Prix thing. I'm still involved with road racing. I mean, I'm amazed. I mean, how did I own the coffee truck, run the coffee truck every day, and still make all these races? I mean, there were people that helped me, would take over the truck. I had people that would work for me. But basically, I was running a coffee truck every day for 22 years. So.
Right.
So, but then the magazine, I made a little money on the magazine. I was selling advertising. It was worth my while to print these. But it was only a one-time, you know, Road Racing Midwest was just a one-time. I sold advertising to the dealers to promote Black Hawk Farms, Road America, Grattan Raceway. And that's Indianapolis Raceway Park, you know. So that's what that's all about. And then we got another picture of Stevie Patterson, because he was like part of the family too, because at Grattan Raceway, his dad and I were great friends. Buzz Pritz, Lance, Brian Lance, my son, your dad, we're all great buddies. And Stevie, though, of all three, was the best racer. So in his 400 Yamaha, the 1 year, he finished second in the Michigan Gran Prix series with just a 400 Yamaha, just with his consistency. So he would, and then he went on and rode with Team Valvoline.
Thank you, Heather, and thank you, Alyssa. Now we're going to look at a few of the clips from the 1993 motorcycle show in Rosemont.
Hi, I'm Heidi Higginson, and can you meet the Team Chicago Challenge?
Hi, I'm Christine Stemmer, and can you meet the Team Chicago Challenge?
Hawkins, and can you meet the Team Chicago Challenge? Hi, I'm Kathy DeWitt. Can you meet the Team Chicago Challenge?
You meet the Team Chicago Challenge?
Yes, I can, and thanks to Heather and Alyssa, and don't forget the lovely Hooter Girls. For more information on WERA, American Road Race Leader, it's WERA.com, WERA.com. To contact me, it's teamdan45@gmail.com, and I love to hear from my audience. Remember to search on YouTube with Dan Schmitt Motorcycle Racing.